said, hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. You want to jump? Oh, tonight the Suns felt the absence of Kevin Durant, and hell, Bradley Beal too. Give them credit. They fought with role players like Nick Richards and Colin Gillespie and Grayson Allen scrapping to make an impact. They tried to hold the line. But when over $100 million in salary is sitting in street clothes, you're going to feel it. I don't blame the young guys for their effort. In a way, it kind of felt like a throwback tonight against the Bucks. Devin Booker leading the charge with a band of misfits, playing hard, trying to will their way to a win. But at times, this team just looks lost. Like explorers stranded in the wilderness, their guide slumped against a tree, swigging from an old bottle of rum, leaving them to stumble forward without direction. And then there's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Your lack of size won't stop him. Your skill won't survive him. The Suns made their runs while he rested. But the moment he stepped back on the court, so too did Milwaukee's control of this game. If this happened in the first 20 games of the season, it might have felt like a moral victory. A building block, perhaps. But with fewer than 10 games left, those don't matter anymore. The Suns, Matthew, played just well enough to lose again. Cool.
Very cool.
Hold me there.
That Bucks team is a team you can probably beat. Very close. Just missed some big shots tonight. So like the effort though. Not too bad. Kept me interested in the fourth.
Yeah.
I felt like, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like, I was actually thinking they might win the game. I had the feeling that they might win the game, but they came up short.
You know, it kind of comes down again to the fact that they had a boneheaded first quarter. 31-19 is what they were outscored. They doubled that effort in the second quarter, scoring 38 points. They scored 40 points in the fourth. And part of you, just a little part of you, tells yourself, you know what, next year, if there's no Bradley Beal, if there's no Kevin Durant, if $100 million is reallocated into other aspects of this roster, and you can have guys like tonight who played with, they fought. You got to give them that. They weren't great defensively, and we'll talk about how shitty they were defensively, but they gave a shit. And maybe for one night, I'll give a little bit of a shit too. Okay? Okay?
Let's give a shit tonight.
All right. Well, let's give just a little bit of a shit. But welcome, everybody, to the Suns Jam Session Podcast. My name is John Voida, managing editor, BrightsideOfTheSun.com. And he's Matthew Lessie, senior staff writer of BrightsideOfTheSun.com. MeUndies. And we're excited you're hanging out with us. I know it wasn't probably the result that we all wanted, but you know what? It is what it is. And we're going to be here to talk about this game, this loss to the Milwaukee Bucks, one that pushes the Suns to 12-26 on the road this year. 35-41, and still a game and a half out of the 11th spot with 6 games to go. So crack them if you got them, Suns fans. And let's talk about this one.
Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.
It is a 10-point loss to the Phoenix Suns to the Milwaukee Bucks. That's 4 consecutive losses now, right? Yeah, 4.
I think it's 4, yeah. Standings are updated, right?
And they might be on NBA.com. But 4 consecutive losses by a combined total of 94 points in those 4 games. Only 10 points tonight. I mean, that's a step up. We lost by 30, and then we lost by 15, and then we lost by 39. Hey, this one is only 10 points. So it brings me my first question.
Matthew, I've got to ask.
So, Matthew, I got to ask, taking a look at this game, seeing the effort from the young guys, seeing Grayson Allen, Colin Gillespie, Nick Richards, Could the Suns be okay if they got rid of Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal next year? Whoa!
Oh,
Oh!
are you on my side of things now? Did you jump ship? Is that where you're headed?
I don't know.
Because when Kevin Durant was out and the Suns came back at halftime, made it a game late in the game, I'm like, maybe John doesn't want Kevin Durant anymore. So I wanted to ask you that. Are you okay if he's gone? Because honestly, he wants back, I guess. With
You
a new
son of a
article.
bitch! You turned it right
Right.
around on me. Real quick, if there's ever a red light out anywhere in the valley right now, I can help you out.
Oh my goodness, Rudolph, dude.
I burned that noggin yesterday.
Yeah.
The
Rudolph
Suns are
the
now
redhead
what,
reindeer.
2-12 without Kevin Durant this year? No, I still want Kevin Durant next year, because what you noticed tonight was there was a Kevin Durant-sized hole in his offense. And had that been, again, the disease of what if, we don't know what would have happened. And I can see the point of view that other people come from. You know, the extra baggage that comes with Kevin Durant, the way that you have to facilitate your offense, even though Katie has kind of, through back channels and rumors, and a great piece on The Ringer today that was talking about how Katie was really hoping that Mike Budenholzer would just kind of simplify the offense a little bit. You still need another scorer next to him. And that's why tonight reminded me of the early Booker years, right? From like 2000 and I'd say 16, because that's when he became a full starter, all the way to like 2020 with Ricky Rubio. Those years right there, that was like 5 seasons. The issue that Booker always had was, I mean, you saw it tonight. It looked like the same thing. Like Booker's out there going for 39 points on 32 shots, mind you, but going for 39 points, doing what he can to will his team to victory, playing and feeding off of the energy of the guys around him. But they still lose by 10. And we always were like, man, if Booker could just get some offensive help. Ayton wasn't that. Josh Jackson wasn't that. Ricky Rubio wasn't that. Kelly Oubre wasn't that. All these guys who've come through Phoenix during Booker's time were meant to fortify around him, but they never truly helped. They never completely took the offensive load off of him. Now, the challenge, obviously, is it's almost like because Kevin Durant is so great, Booker might not have the need or the desire to try to be that alpha, and that can hurt this team. And it's almost like maybe if you bring in somebody here who's on his level or maybe a little below it, I don't know, maybe Bradley Beal, that he will be forced into kind of alpha role. And alpha Booker is a good thing. And we've seen alpha Booker, the past couple performances, and it's nice to see him, but I'm still like this one game on a Tuesday night in Milwaukee does not change my opinion on the fact that we should continue to build around Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and do everything as humanly possible to launch Bradley Beal across the country and hope he lands in like Indiana or something.
Yeah, I saw the article, and I can absolutely care less about both those guys leading us next year. I'm not excited about it. I think the way the season's gone, and a piece released like that about the beauty of being in Phoenix, and you're drafted here, there's no love anywhere else in like where you're drafted. You don't want to go anywhere else because it's not always greener on the other side of things. And I understand all that from Booker, which he basically wants to stay here and he doesn't want to go anywhere because you can end up in a bad situation, like he mentioned in the article. I'm not excited about it, dude. I'm just absolutely not. I don't want the whole blow up thing. I don't want to get into that discussion again, of course, but I know we're going to go the route of building around this Booker, and he can have his guys. Because I think on this team right now, the guys around him that were playing tonight, those were like his dudes. Like, I feel like he had the energy from those guys. They hustled Nick Richards all the time, down low in the post, offensively getting the free throw line late. You even have Colin Gillespie, of course, who's a guy that's always going to be 100 miles per hour all game long. So he obviously has those dudes next to him that want to fight hard, no matter where they're at in the standings, because he wants to compete. I don't like those two together. And I don't like the fact that we have to do it. I'm sorry. I'm not excited about it. I'm out right now on the whole thing. Sorry. Oh, you're on mute.
One, we don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But two, a lot of people echo your feeling. As well they should, because this has been nothing but an unbelievably disappointing season. And to a lot of people, there's variables here, right? If you bring back this core three, right? If you hold on to Kevin Durant, who in that Ringer piece, it was stated that he wouldn't rule out the possibility of coming back next season, right? If you were to run back that big three, I think that the majority of the fan base would just roll their eyes. Like, come on, we're trying this shit again.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to be different now? And the way that I look at it, again, it's why you have to prioritize getting off the Beal contract, because you said it yourself. Booker was out there with like his guys. Imagine those guys that's the second team unit next year. Colin Gillespie, Nick Richards, Grayson Allen, these tough, lunch pail kind of guys where when you have your rotations working, Booker's out there playing with them at the back end of the first quarter going into the second quarter, and they're playing with grit and they're playing with defense and they're connecting on offense, but you still have the luxury of having one of the greatest all-time scorers in the NBA in your starting five. You take that $100 or that $57 million that Bradley Beal is going to make next year, and you don't spend it all on new players because you want to get under the luxury tax. So you only spend it on $20,000 or $20 million worth of players, saving $30 million, opening up the floodgates for you to be under that second apron. And with that $20 million play, you add another quality starter who can assist this team, who's not duplicative of either Kevin Durant or Devin Booker. And it's like Seth Logan Hopkins says, we need a rim protector who can pass. Oh, wait. David Yolovich, like, we need Angel Reese, like maybe go and get Angel Reese next year. I don't know what the answer is, but and that's the mode of thinking that that I kind of pivot to. So but at the same time, I acknowledge your frustration with what you're seeing, and I completely understand the lack of excitement for it. I know right now, obviously with 6 games left to go, if we start talking about this team next season, I'm not excited about it. And I will not let myself get excited about this team no matter what we do this offseason, as much as I was entering last season or this season. Because you know as well as I do, and everyone who's listening or watching this podcast, including my Uncle Dabo. Hey, Uncle Dabo, hope you're doing all right there, you hot dog-fingered son of a bitch. You know how excited I was entering this season, how much optimism I had. And shame on me again for being fooled into believing that the Phoenix Suns would do nothing but epically fail as well as they've done. So whatever they do this upcoming season, I'm not going to be excited going into next season. I might be cautiously optimistic, and even then, I might go full heel and just be like the pessimistic fucking podcast host, But I can't do that because that's the corner you live on, man. You got like a cardboard box there. There's always motorcycles going by and fucking Hell's Angels.
Yeah.
Sirens.
Yeah, throwing just shit through my window. Like, what are the cocktails? Just like fucking just
Molotov
like Grand Theft
cocktails.
Auto. Yeah. So I was reading the article earlier. I don't remember. I'm trying to find the quote again, but didn't Booker say in the conversation about how we're in the situation like now we have something to play for or something like that this late in the season? What was that quote? I'm sorry, I totally forget. What was the quote?
The quote was along those lines, but the interview that happened with Booker was a week ago after the Suns had beat the Bucks, and essentially he was saying something along those lines. He's like, every game's a playoff game right now, and how beating the Bucks as a part, that was the fourth game in the 4-game winning streak, how good that felt, and how they understand, the team, the coaching staff, the organization understands that every game's a playoff game. And ever since then, they've lost 4 in a row. Now, granted, we knew that this competition was coming. They play fucking Boston on Friday. That's our next game, is Boston on Friday. It's not like it gets any fucking easier. You got Boston, right? Then you got New York at MSG. And then you come home for Golden State and then OKC. I mean, it's this brutal schedule where we looked at this at the beginning of the year and we go, man, hopefully the Suns, are in that position where they can kind of, they're jockeying position up at the top of the Western Conference standings, but this is going to be a tough ask at the end of the season. And unfortunately for the Suns, they're jockeying for position at the bottom of the standings, trying to stay relevant. And even though it was a fun effort tonight because of the way that they continued to fight, because of the way that they showcased potentially what could happen for the future if they hold on to guys like Richards and guys like Gillespie, who they need to convert from a 2-way contract like today. They just need to go ahead and do that. I don't care, because you can't let this guy hit the restricted free agent market knowing that you don't have any of his bird rights. You need to go ahead and lock him up for a 2-year veteran minimum extension right now, so you have that asset moving forward, because he's a productive player, and I've liked consistently. I've liked what I've seen. He was great in the G League. He's been great with the Suns. You lock up Gillespie now, and then if the Suns lock him up, I'll make him a drop. How about that? How about that, Suns? Your move, bitch.
Yeah. No, that'd be great. And I did find the quote. It says, "This is after the game they beat the Bucks. The last time they beat the Bucks." He did say, "This is the city. This is what the city's been waiting on. It's been tough. It's been a grind. We're in a tough situation right now, but I think this is what we've been waiting on the whole time."
Oh, okay.
So that's what I was, and I had to make sure it was this season. It wasn't like, hey, earlier, maybe last season or seasons before when we had Chris Paul, but this is after that game. So that's why I feel like I'm just totally out on these dudes, because I want a team that fucking cares all season long, because I don't understand. That's crazy. He would say that, right? Is he like a fucking idiot? Like, why the fuck would he say that? Like, wait, hold on. So we want you guys back, you and KD, but you're both dudes that just want to wait for the playoffs. Like, what is he just like mentally ill? Like, what is wrong with Booker in these comments he makes? He had it last year too. Yeah, he's like, I've done stuff during the regular season. It doesn't matter. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you now, dude?
It's this lackadaisicalness. And again, this is what some people call the Kevin Durant effect, because Kevin Durant has done it over and over again. He's somebody who perennially is in the playoffs every year. And so there's less perceived value from the outside looking in, of people going, you know what? Based on quotes that Kevin Durant has, and I don't have them in front of me, but based on quotes that Kevin Durant has 5 years ago, saying things along those lines, saying that the regular season, it matters, but it doesn't matter. Like, the real season's the playoffs. And a lot of players look at that. And when you go through the grind of an 82-game season, and you go through it all, and then you ultimately lose in the postseason. But you don't lose in the first round, although the Suns did last year. But you lose in the second round. You lose in the Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. I mean, we know it as fans. God, fuck, it's so hard to get back there. We have to go through a whole nother season just to get back to the season that matters. And the season that matters is the playoffs. But you still have to go through the season. You can't just have this switch and turn it on and go, you know what? Now is the time that we feel like it's okay, that we need to get into our mentally competitive space to execute in the postseason, because teams that do that have proven time. The Suns last season, and perhaps that is what Booker is referencing. You know, it's like, okay, this is what we needed. Now we can go get it, right? It's because last season they had like 8 games at the end of the season that were the same thing. It was a tough schedule. But they went 6-2 in that stretch and surprised us all, because they were fighting not to be in the play-in. They were fighting for the 6th seed last year. And they went 6-2 in that stretch. They beat the fucking snot out of the Timberwolves twice. And it's almost like they were filled with false confidence. And if you don't believe me, just go back and watch that first round last year. They got royally butt-fucked by the Minnesota Timberwolves game after game after game into a sweep. They were so shocked they couldn't believe it. Bradley Beal said, I've never been swept in my career. Boom, swept. Because they had this overconfidence that they could just turn on this switch and execute in the postseason. And it's almost like this team this whole year has been slogging on with this we've said it all season long. They're lackadaisical. They're mentally weak. They don't possess the fire to go out and compete night in, night out, possession after possession after possession. They don't have it. So to your point, when you hear Devin Booker make a quote like that after a very emotional game in which the Suns beat the Bucks a week ago, after a game where everybody was saying that was the most electric the PHX arena has felt all season long, that it comes to that point where this team's backs, I mean, is that what they need? Is their backs against the wall? Like, are they those people who like, just push me up against the wall and fuck me? Like, that's kind of like their mentality. And guess what? They're the ones who are fucked.
It comes down, this is simple, man. So when we were in the playoffs last year, obviously we had Book and KD healthy, got swept. When we were in the finals, we had Booker and Mikal Bridges. Obviously the whole team, which is fucking loved. We came up short, but you find out from Mikal Bridges too, like, hey, we kind of went in there thinking we were going to win because we went through the West and we're like, hey, we're going to roll up in there. We're up 2-0. We felt good.
They got happy on the farm.
there's nothing in Booker's career where he showed me that he is the guy to come out, and especially in a game against the Bucks where they suck. They're not good. They're in the East. They're 6th seed, which means you suck, and you probably be out of the playoffs if you're out West because you want to win any games in the West. I honestly think, like, if I'm looking at this, I'm like, Booker, you had a chance to win this game in the end. Scoring 39 points is great. I know defensively down low, you guys give up whatever because you don't have any size, and they just kept letting everybody to the layup line. But I'm sick of like trying to find outs with this team where I'm like, hey, we're short in this area. Hey, we can't do this defensively. Hey, if we get perimeter defense. No, it's like we want to build around Booker and then bring back KD. Like, we've seen that it's just not enough. We've seen that Booker is not enough. And I love him.
That's why you need KD, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And you're not going to get anything better than KD. But I'm just saying right now, I'm like, you can't really have any belief in this team going into next season, no matter what they do, because Booker to me has failed me over and over and over again. He had the 4-game stretch where he looked completely like, hey, this is the best Suns player of all time. This is the guy. But he has just gone back to being, he's good, but you're like, it's just not enough, man, to really be the actual center of the Sun. But I don't know, man. I hate that I'm really saying a lot of this, but it's just really truly how I feel, because this is how I feel when I go sit down and watch a game. It's like, this dude's not enough. Okay, I've been talking about this for forever, and it's like this season. I mean, and it's frustrating to know, like, hey, we might have to give up on him before he wants to give up on us, and that sucks. I don't want to say that. I'm sorry I said that.
No, but it's reality, and you're not the only one who's navigating these thoughts, and I get where you're coming from, up 2-0 in the finals. We're going all the way back there, but there's been moments that Devin Booker's proved otherwise. He just hasn't completed the job, which again, only one team does every year. But think back to Game 6 of the first round, after Chris Paul had been hurt against the Lakers, and the Suns had an opportunity to clinch. And what did Devin Booker do? Well, he went out there and he had 47 points and 11 rebounds in that game. Yeah. He time and again during that playoff run was just amazing. And then they ran into the buzzsaw that was Giannis. I mean, he put up 50 points in Game 6 against us. We couldn't stop him. And I don't put that on Booker. I think Booker laid it all out there, and he showed that he can do it. He can be the guy. But if you put Booker against Giannis in any competition, Booker's going to lose that one unless it's a 3-point competition, right? So that's just unfortunate for the Suns. I think you can continue to build around him. And again, I think that Kevin Durant gives you the best option, both short-term and long-term, because if you sign Kevin Durant to the extension, to a 2-year extension this offseason, and you have him, he also is somebody who becomes a viable trade asset as that contract progresses. You can get more value out of that than simply trading him this offseason, knowing he has 1 year left on his deal. So I think there's and like Hey.0, like Booker was never good. Chris Paul made him. Okay. Like Chris Paul helped him. He helped him get to the next step in his career. But like, like, okay, so let's play this game. All right. Let me pull something up real quick. Let me pop over here. Let's hit everybody with some trivia time, because Devin Booker clearly sucks in everyone's opinion.
You know what time it is.
Trivia time.
All right, trivia time. Devin Booker. Okay, apparently he sucks. He's never been good. Chris Paul made him. In the NBA this year, where does he fall in points per game?
Probably like 11th.
11th. All right, let me know in the chat, everybody. What do you think? Devin Booker, points per game this year. All right, littering Ann. Well, Matthew said, what'd you say?
11th.
He's 12th. He's 12th in the league in scoring. That's not a bad thing, ladies and jamsters. What about assists? Where does Devin Booker land in assists this season?
14.
He's 13th. So he's 12th in scoring. He's 13th. He's averaging 25.5 points per game and 7.1 assists per game. Okay, and you might sit there and be like, well, all those assists, he's got to be turning the ball over just a shit ton. Where do you think he stands in overall turnovers?
45th.
28th.
Okay. Wait,
So
28th worst? Or
28th worst. He averages
Okay.
2.9.
Okay.
And Haydot's like, Void, it's not about stats if your impact on the court does not lead to winning. But it has led to winning. This is the first year it hasn't led to winning since 2019/20. And I get you, well, that was CP3. Yeah, they built around him. They've built around him. And they've built wrong over these last 2 seasons. Again, Bradley Beal's contract, the money that eats up, the second apron that pushes this team into, hurts his overall ability to be effective with the players around him. You know, he has limitations. I've always said that. Devin Booker has limitations on who he's going to be. He'll never be Jordan. He'll never be Giannis. He'll never be, a consistently first-team All-NBA guy. But he does have the ability to be an All-NBA guy every year. And this year, if you look at the stats, if this was a winning team, he would be an All-NBA guy. The team isn't winning. I can't pin it all on Booker. Again, everybody's looking to blame somebody, and tonight, I guess it's Devin Booker for his 39 points.
It's not. Yeah, obviously he's a good player. I'm just not excited about. Hey, we have these 2 guys next year. I'm just not.
I get it.
The stats are great, and like that was always the thing with me and DeAndre Ayton was his stats look good. His efficiency was awesome, off the charts.
His stats were average for what he was paid.
When you were talking about like him finishing 8 for 10 from the field, like, hey, give him the ball more, like give him some more jump shots or some looks around the rim, like. You know what I mean? It was like he's an efficient player. Like he can fill the stat sheet. He had like stats where he fell in the categories with like Shaq and stuff, like the first like 50 games or something weird. I don't know. But he would put up decent stats for a center, and everyone would say like, just give him the ball more. And I'm like, he's not leading to winning. He's not the guy that we all thought he was. And I don't think Booker's on that level, obviously, but I do think that Booker has some of the same qualities in like, hey, we are getting our asses kicked all the time. Even when he has Kevin Durant, like what in his bud, hey, simplify the offense a little bit more. What the fuck are you guys talking about? All you guys did was ISO for forever in the beginning of the season. And then last year too, like that is pretty simple. Like make your fucking, or get back and play defense. Like, I don't know. I think Book has the right attitude. It's not as crazy as like a Kobe. It's a perfect attitude to be like, hey, I got to have my dudes out there that are just, as passionate of a player as I am, and he's not probably crazy. Maybe he is off the court and then practice yelling at people, telling them to quiet down. But I do think that he's in a way where it's just like, let's just get it on paper. This looks good. We'll play through the season and see if we can come out in the end. And I just don't want to buy into that again next season because the season's already over. And everyone talks about such a long season. It's already over. It goes by so quick. And I love all the teams that play so hard that actually give us good competition night in, night out. Because I love watching basketball whenever I have nothing else to do. Like, that's what I want to do is I want to watch a good game. But I'm stuck watching the Suns game night after night, and I can't see anybody. I'm locked in a fucking room. So,
well, and I also think, and I kind of went off on this on the last podcast, but I'll reiterate it in this one. I also, part of my desire to keep Book and build around him and KD is I continually think of the alternate universe where we do blow it up and we've got a bunch of draft picks and we got some young, like we got a bunch of Kumingas, we got a bunch of like high ceiling potentially guys, but the situation isn't beneficial for them. And we're just kind of mediocre. And I think of that. And I think back to those times when as Suns fans, that's who we were. And all we dreamt of was having one star on our team, one guy you can count on, one guy you believed in. And now we have 2 of them. And it's hard to just think, I just want to go back to draft picks, baby. And I love just prepping, doing draft prep, man. There's nothing better than that. Sitting around at a Buffalo Wild Wings, waiting to see the draft lottery to see if the ping pong ball our favor. That was our life, dude. And that's why I don't really want to go back to that. David Yolovich brings this up, and I want to get your thoughts on this. He goes, the NBA goes in favor of athletic and defensive-minded players, not Book. The NBA favors shooters from 3, not Book either. Booker is a great 1990s player.
Well, I fall in the category of Booker is a really good third guy on a team. I don't think, if he's saying those things because it's like he wants to be a true number 1 and that we need him to be the athletic defensive minded guy that could shoot threes, I still don't think that's true either, because I think there's plenty of players out there like a Jokic who isn't really that guy, right? Defensively, he's not that. He's okay. He's good. but he's a guy that can command a whole team. And we just played against Giannis, who can change the game and finish off a game. So I think it's very different. I don't want Booker to be anybody else than who he is, but I just know he's a true like 2A, 2B guy, maybe number 3 on the team.
Well, it's like I've always said, he's a fantastic Robin. Like you need him, but you need a Batman. And now we're like, yeah, get rid of Batman. Let's let Robin lead the team. It's just nobody watched the Robin movie. Hey.0. I think there is. Get a real coach that will gel with the younger guys to play hard. Yeah, and that's what we are at the end of every year.
I think
every
that's
year
the toughest call.
And a new coach.
That's tougher than bringing back Kevin Durant. I think it's tough for Matt Ishbia to be like, hey, let's fire a coach again.
I know.
Go get somebody else because it's the coach and not the players. Like that has to be the toughest thing. It's like we finally. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to. If we do get a new coach, I'm not doing a pod about it. I'm just not even going to buy into it because the last 2 I've been excited about. I was more excited about the roster, obviously.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, this is a good enough coach. What can go wrong? And it's just
everything.
You can't buy a win.
TF timepiece. Philly tried for the last 10 years of blowing it up and trusting the process. Doesn't always work. 100%. They haven't even made an Eastern Conference Finals.
Always hurt though, dude.
Yeah, but Embiid, but Embiid wasn't the only one. They started with Nerlens Noel, and then they had Embiid, and then they had Ben Simmons, and now they got Tyrese Maxey. And they're a team that did just that. They blew it up. They tanked. They got all the draft picks, and they still haven't made an Eastern Conference Finals.
I'm just not excited about it.
That is completely understandable.
Ooh, dang, stat me.
All right, here's your stat of the night. This is per Kellen Olson. The Bucks shot 68.9% from the field against the Suns. That is the highest field goal percentage by an NBA team in the regular season since 1998.
Oh my God, dude.
By 10. And the reason we only lost by 10 tonight is because the Bucks turned the ball over 20 times. It led to 20
second chance points, too.
Second chance points. The Suns had 24 second chance points to 3 for Milwaukee. So you look at offensive rebounds, the Suns had 15 of them. Nick Richards had 9 offensive rebounds tonight. And we still lost by 10. Like that's if you want to know what happened tonight, that's what happened tonight. I don't want this podcast to go too long because the Valley Suns are currently playing the Santa Cruz Warriors. It's on ESPNU, and it's the playoffs, and it's the it's a 1-game elimination doohickey. Like they win this game, they move on. They lose, they're out of the G League playoffs. So I want to go see that, and also I want to watch the Los Angeles Dodgers, the 6-0 Los Angeles Dodgers. They're trying to go 162-0. They look so good.
Yankees are 3-0. How did they play 6 games already? Or did they open up the season with the
we opened up the season in Japan. We played 2 games against the Cubs. We beat them 2-0, and then we swept Detroit. Now we're playing the Atlanta Braves, and we beat the shit out of them last night.
Dodgers.
It's just fun to watch. It's fun to watch a game and like your team's really good. It's like after going through the whole Sun season, I'm just like, I'm probably gonna watch a lot of baseball just because I just want to feel winning again. But before we go, I do have the subreddit for you.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Real quick, did you know that Giannis Antetokounmpo leads the league in 10.5 free throw attempts per game? And seeing as he always goes the whole 10 seconds, that's 150 seconds or 100.5 seconds, 105 seconds per game. That's just Giannis standing at the free throw line doing nothing.
Ugh, that is disgusting.
It's gross.
Right?
It's gross.
That's bad for the game. I think you should have only 3 seconds. Get the ball and just chuck it up.
Yeah, 100%. Like no dribbling, just it's like a pitch clock. And also, another reason why they won is Giannis was plus 23 tonight, and the Bucks were minus 13 in the minutes when he was out. So essentially, like they'd go up by 22, Giannis would go sitting on the bench, we get it back down to like 10, and then he'd come back out and balloon back up. And that was like, if you didn't watch the game, that's exactly what you missed in this one.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Aussie Suns fans, you coming to the D-backs game with me, John? I don't know. Which game are you going to? Yeah, which game are you going to? I know that you're coming to Gav. When are you coming to town?
July 7th.
Is that what it is? because I know next season's or July 7th. No, it's gonna be April 7th. I know next week's a busy week. But anyways, let's see. Moses, why are you still here? The season's over. That's a great question, Moses. We
I
wonder
don't
that.
know. 11th of April. This
Is
month?
that yeah, he's gonna be here like next week.
Oh.
Because we're potentially doing like a watch party on the 13th. That's the last game of the season. It's like a 3:30 game against the Kings on the road. Yeah, so we might do that. D-backs on the 12th, Saturday. I don't know. I'll check with the missus. All right, so let's see here. So this is from the subreddit of the Milwaukee Bucks. I've missed these Bud faces. Grayson shooting 81% from the free throw line. Homie was shooting 90 with the Bucks. Suns are such a confusing team to me. Not even talking about this roster, just the organization. Felt like they could have had a run with their finals core a bit longer. Instead, they blew it all the way up and then fell for the old KD trick. And then somebody said, definitely some parallels to the Dame trade. I'd rather get a colonoscopy. I can't say that word. Colonoscopy every day than ever trade Giannis. This is a generational mid-off. This is some unbelievable horseshit.
I love that one.
This is some unbelievable horseshit. Best April Fool's prank all day.
Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't get to do that at all today. I remembered in the morning though.
Yeah, I didn't talk to anyone like all day, so I didn't have anyone to play on. It was great. I think Bud pretty much guaranteed to be gone from the Suns this offseason. Maybe he sticks around if they trade KD and Booker likes him enough, but I imagine Jenkins will land there.
Yep. Someone else.
And then, fuck Devin Booker.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Yeah, Gavin, DM everyone. Like, have you bought tickets to the Diamondbacks game? Like, what's the game plan there? You got to communicate better, okay?
Or
Just 'cause
they're
you're on the
they're gonna sell out.
yeah, right. You're on the other side of the planet, I know, but like, and just remember that Matthew never checks the DM. So if he wants to go, I'll have to let him know. So you got to let me know.
No,
sooner
if
rather
he
than
doesn't
later.
want me to go, it's fine. I understand.
No.
I guess I can't do the DM stuff. I don't even have Twitter on my phone anymore. So, and I haven't had it for a while.
You're a good man.
I just want some. I want some friends, and I know I'm bad. I know I'm a bad friend. I'm sorry, guys. I'm
Half
not
of
a
it's-
friend.
half
I'm
of it's-
nobody.
Half of it's
Huh?
just showing up. He says, haven't
show up.
bought tickets. I'll just be a show up.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
And he says, of
Get
course I
tickets.
want Matthew to go.
Okay, I feel better now.
Okay. Well, we'll figure out that weekend. We'll figure that out. I'm not giving out a jam starts. Devin Booker, if I had to give
What?
one, but I'm okay. I'll play the
No, I'm just
fucking.
kidding.
I'll fucking play the drop.
I don't want to.
Fuck that guy.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. Fuck
I was
that
gonna
guy.
say fuck Devin Booker. A lot of Booker.
I'm gonna-
Hey, all you KD stands, this is a Booker hate pod for sure. You ever wanted to hear one, so I'm sure they're gonna play it back a few times.
No,
They
they,
gotta
they,
sleep.
they'll just, why didn't you talk more about Kevin Durant? I know he's out, but why didn't you talk more about him? You lost it because Kevin Durant wasn't out there. Why don't you talk about that more, huh? Kevin Durant. I can't.
Yeah, I know.
It's yeah, that's all I have. You got anything else
That's
you want to
all-
talk about?
No, I think I'm good, man.
All right,
This
do
is
me a
probably how
favor.
pods are gonna go.
Portrait mode, selfie me afterwards so I can do your little AI
Oh
thing.
yeah, got it.
Yeah. All right.
What do you want? You want the mic too? in it?
Yeah, kind of like I have mine. Hmm?
Okay.
Yeah, however you want to do it. Well, on that note, Jamsters, thanks for hanging out with us again. Truly appreciate it. We got 279 people watching right now. You fucking sickos, you. I love you. It's good to know that I am not alone. I'm 10 feet down. I'm 7 from the edge, and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't all I am.
Go home and love your crypt keepers. Damn it, I fucked it up.
you're listening to the Suns Jam Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.